All right, so welcome to today's class in Excel. We'll be covering Excel formulas, basic Excel formulas and functions, and then we will be working on data cleaning with Excel. So basic formulas and functions, that will be very fast, just a few minutes, and then you will have to practice what we have just done. Then we'll then dive deep into data cleaning with Excel. Are we good? Yes, can you guys hear me?
I think it's breaking. I don't know. Is it just me?
It was, but we can hear him now.
Yeah, at some point it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure that I'm the only one.
I think it's the stability of my internet. I hope nobody is doing something there to it. Okay. So can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 All right.
Yeah.
So welcome to today's Excel, and we're going to look at first basic Excel functions and formulas, basic ones. So when we talk about basic Excel formulas and functions, they are more like the day-to-day functions you're going to use in Excel, and they are the simple one. And over time, as you progress from the simple one, you start using some more complex ones. But these basic ones are almost everywhere. You cannot ignore them. So, but they are also not unfamiliar with some of the things you have done. Now, when we talk about a problem-solving approach in Excel or as in any tool, first you need to know the problem you want to solve. Then you know the tool you want to use. So I want to look for the sum of all the revenue. I want to know the total revenue, the revenue the company generated. So you need to know first that what you want to do is finding a place, a column called sales, revenue, or anything gross. And then when you find it, you add everything, all the numbers together. That's what you want. That's what you really want to do. So now, since that's what you want to do, the next thing you want to do is, all right, so what formula, how do I do it? I need to find it and add everything, or every value in that column. All right, so if I need to do that, is there any formula or function to do that in Excel? That's the next question you want to ask yourself. As soon as you find out that there is a formula, if you don't know if there's a formula, you can ask. Another thing you can do is, if you don't know if there is a formula, you can do something like this. I'm going to show you. All right, so let's go to formulas. So these are formulas in Excel. These are formulas in Excel. So I can do something like this. Okay, and come to function and see insert function. I showed you this in our first class. When you come here, it brings you to something like this, so that it will give you an idea of what you want to do. This will give you an idea of what you want to do. Aside that, formula tab gives you access to so many things you can do. And we will go through some of them in the course of doing this. So another way is you know what you want to do, you just type it on Google and quickly search, do a quick search, a formula in Excel on how to do it. That's how simple it is. So now in Excel, you can do things as simple as coming here. So you come here, you want to add, all right, so unit cost. All right, so you want to add units, you can come here and do things like, let me do it here. You want to add unit and the unit cost. You can come here and say, whenever you want to start anything you want to do in Excel that has to do with functions, formulas, or calculation, you start with equal to. You click on that cell, you start with equal to. Then you start with equal to sign. Excel recognizes that you are trying to perform a function or use some kind of formula, some kind of calculation. Please note, for those of you that don't have the that your file is not open, your sheet is not open. The sheet is sample data set. That's the one we're using now. Please keep it open. Similarly, you type in equal to in any cell. Excel recognizes that you want to perform a function, a calculation, type in a formula. Excel knows that you want to do something. Now, as I type the equal to here, you will notice that the equal to is also here. And this is a formula bar. You notice it's equal to, it's here. So now let's start typing. So I want to add 92. I want to add 95 to, so my normal plus sign, to 1.99. And that's it. All I needed to do was to equal to, click on 92, click on the cell that has 92, type in plus, click on the cell that has 1.99, and that's it. If I put in equal to, I get the answer. So if I click on enter key, I get the answer. So let me go back to this point. When you check this cell, when you check here, notice that it did not tell us 95. Instead, it gave us the cell reference, E2. That's what it gave us. That's because Excel is kind of dynamic. If tomorrow I decide to change this to 195 and update the calculation, if at any point in somewhere I'll type equal to E2, Excel knows where to find that data, E2, and if I press my enter key, it populates it E2. So that's the importance of this cell. And remember I told us the each cell, the cell numbering or the cell labeling makes its value in each cell unique. So it's when you're referencing that cell, it's a unique cell you're referencing. So, and then this is how simple it is. I have just done my calculation. I can still do the same calculation. I can still do more subtraction here. Then I'll start with equal to. I'll pick the cell. I'll do my minus. I'll pick the next cell. Enter key. And I've done my subtraction. And that's how simple it is. I can go ahead and do division. Equal to, I will pick the same cell. I will do divide. And you see what I use for my division, /, and then I will pick the next cell. And that is it. That is it. So, and this is how simple it is. Are we following?
Yeah. I'm following.
All right. So what else? If I also want to do, our multiplication, I'll start again equal to, pick it. A multiplication this time around is asterisk. Now pick the next, enter key, and then we have it. This is how simple this thing is. Now say I want to, instead of this addition like this, because imagine we have so many cells, just like we have like this, and I want to add everything on this. I want to get the total unit. I can't just start typing, typing each of them out. This plus this plus this. Because in reality, you're going to have so many rows. They're not going to start typing them out row after row. So you need to start using functions. Now, functions are predefined form of calculation in, in Excel that execute a certain for a does a certain thing, perform a certain duty. Okay, all right, so I think that's not the right word to use. It's a predefined code that has been written for you. No need for you to go keep writing this thing. We have written set of code, just use it. So, and to use it, it's so simple. If I come here, equal to, and I would say, because I want to add, I will type sum. Now notice as I type sum, it brings out everything that has to do with sum. Sum if, product, so many sums. But we want to deal with this first sum. Every other one, you will learn them over time. Don't bother yourself wanting to learn everything here. It's not going to work. So as it comes out like this, I can double click on this, or I can type, I can press my tab key. When I press my tab key, you will see what happens. So it brings up a comma, a bracket to show you that it is ready to start accepting some things. But first of all, let us see what it does. I will remove that comma. Now I said adds all number in a range of cell. That's what it does. It adds all number in a range of cell. All right, so when I press my tab key, it gets ready for me. What number do you want to add? Number one, number two, up to any number. So if I want to add everything here, I will just click the first tab, the first cell, then I'll drag down. So I am here. So now it's picking up a range, the word range. So everything on this interface it's called range. Everything on this interface is called range. So this range we have here is from E2, which is here, up to E17, which is here. You can see it, E17. So what do I do next? It's notice that I have satisfied at least the first, I have satisfied the first condition. It's asking me, do I want to really put in more number? I'm not interested in putting in more number. So I will close it with a bracket and enter key. And that gives me my equal to. Look at it. If I come here and change it to maybe the 17 to 10, and I press and click on enter here, it changes the calculation. It changes the calculation here. All right, so if I come here again and click on, and it change it to 17, and here we are. So the range is going to calculate for you is it depends on the number on the range you chose. If you don't choose the complete range, if you want it to calculate a certain number of range, it's up to you. It's all in your hands. So yeah, so that's how you do the sum. Now sometimes you you don't know what you want to answer. Like you don't know what the function you want to use. Sometimes you don't know what the function you want to use. That's why this formulas comes to play. So you come from the formula tab to get all the functions that are here. And these are all the functions here that do one or two things. And this is a sum function, the same thing we did. All right, so let's see what happens here. So if I want to do the same calculation, I can come here, I can see where I am. I will come here and I will click on sum. Look at where my stuff is, click on sum. So it's picking only this. It's picking only this to give me calculation. All right, so what about all right, so let's go and click on sum. Not here. Okay. So I'm going to click on sum again. Now it's picking only this, but we want it to pick all of this, even without this one. You can come here and type it E2 colon E17. See, it picks it, enter, and it gives it to you. All you need to do is to just come here. Again, let's go there again. Let's put our cursor here. Let's pick this cell, go there again. I want help. I don't even know what I want to do. I want to do a kind of something like average, but I don't even know what the formula is. I don't know how to find it. So I'll come here, more function. So as I am on more function, it's telling me again, I'll go back, click here, more function. So now it's telling me, it's bringing up this window. It's telling me, type a brief description of what you want to do, and then click OK. So I want to do, okay, average of, telling it this thing, average of unit cost. Average of unit cost. That's what I want to do. Average of unit cost. I'll go, okay. All right, so add all the numbers in the range of cell. Recommended. So it didn't give us anything. So let's say we want to, okay, so it's saying rephrase, please rephrase your question. I want to look for average of number. All right, so there we go. So you want to look for an average of number, it's giving you this average of number. So you can say, okay, this is not the one I want, this is what I want. For anyone you click, it tells you what it does. So look at here. Okay, so what does it do? Return the average of, that is arithmetic mean, of its argument, which can be number or name, array, or reference that contains number. So it has to be number. Now let us pick it. This is what I want, average. I will say okay. Now it's giving me the interface to type. Which interface do I want? So I don't want this. So this is the one I want, F. All right. So now you see how it automatically picked it. That was because my cursor was under it. I clicked under it. That's why it automatically picked F2 to F2, the range F2 to F17. So if I click OK, and it's look at what is happening here. It's also telling you what the average is, 15.36. If I click OK, here we go, 15.36. So what am I showing here? I'm showing you different ways you can actually assess functions and formulas. You can start typing it out in the cell, and then you're good to go. Option, or you can come here, find what you want. And then when you come here, you notice that we have the most used ones: average, count number, max, mean, all those things. So you choose what you want. Now, we can also go ahead and type, what is the minimum unit cost? Again, I'll start with equal to mean. And then I'll pick the first one because that's what matches what I want. And then the whole range, I'll pick the whole range because you want to give it, you're looking for mean. So you want to give it everything, let it be the one to supply you what you want. Then I'll close it. And here we go. It's telling us that the minimum is 1.9, and it is correct. So you can see the same way, if I want maximum, I'll type max. So you can see the max came first. And here, if I pick it, okay, so select again up to here. Remember, that's where we're stopping, and close it. Here we are. So, and this is how simple this thing is. Also want to know how many rows are here. I want to count how many entries we have. So you can go here and type in count. So that is count. And then I will pick up this up to where we stopped and enter. It's telling us is 16. That is E2 to E17. That is 16. 16. You can actually come here. All right, so I can try to give a space here by highlighting this, then dragging it down. That's not what I want. Yeah, that's it. Drag it down. And it still maintains what I want. So here what we did here was
Average.
average. So I'll put it by the side. Average unit cost. Enter key. Second one was what? Minimum. Minimum unit cost. Enter maximum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maximum unit cost. The next one was number of
Count number of cells.
of
Cells.
or you
Oh,
can call
units. Sorry.
counts of units. All right, so you see, and then we have it here. So I could choose to just make this bold, your formatting. Good. I can also make this ones bold, stand out, and perhaps give it another color, lighter color. Good. Now let's continue and see what we can do. Now I want to know the count of entries from, this is test. These are not numbers. So let's see if our count will work here. Count. What do we want? We want to know how many counts. So we expect it to give us the same number, not knowing that there is actually no empty space here. Enter. And it's telling us 0. So it's giving us 0. And why is it giving us 0? Let us go back to counts. What does count do? Count the number of cells in a range that contains numbers.
That
That contain numbers.
You need to take note of that. So that range does not contain numbers, so you cannot count. So how do we count it? Let's find out the next one. Count the number of cells in a range that are not empty. As long as it is not empty, it will count it for you. So all we need to do is click here and go up here and type in A. Let's count A and enter. And it does it for us, 16. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even if I come here, this is it, D, isn't it? On pencil, I type in 30, 25, it's still gonna count it. But if I keep it empty, will it count? No, it's reduced because it said I'm counting only what is not empty. So with that, now I decide to go to the next one and say count again. Please don't make mistake of typing without equal to. You can't start running to me to start saying it's not working. Let's count blank. Count the number of empty cells in a specified range. So let's pick it. It's simple. And then let's come here, pick it, and close it. See, 1. It's noted that it is just 1 empty cell. That's how simple it is and how interesting these formulas are. But as simple as they are, straightforward as they are, you can easily forget them. So let's do the other ones. We have done this. How about we do a simple, one more simple thing like, all right, so we want to check the average units of pencil. Average unit of pencils ordered. So this is pencil. Let's give it back its name. Average unit of pencils ordered. So let's come here again. I will say equal to average. So let's go average if. So first of all, let's see the second average. Average A returns the average of all of its arguments, evaluating test and false in argument as 0. True, okay, evaluating test and false in argument is 0, true evaluate as 1. So this is not what we want. What we are looking for is something that will, evaluate based on a given criteria. We want you to evaluate only average of the unit of pencils ordered. So the average unit of pencils ordered, we say average if. What is the range? So now look at what it's giving us. Average if. So let's go to function. I want to use the interface to go about this. I want to use the interface to go about this. So I'll come and click here. Okay, so you can see it's asking for range. And you know what range is. What are you calculating? So it is average units of pencil. So we take all the range by picking everything. We're not just picking, pencil, just picking only pencil. No, we're picking everything because he wants to do, I'm sure you know what it means in SQL. What does it mean? Can you remind me? What does it mean, guys? Can you remind me what it means in SQL? where we have all these things, we want to take only the average of pencil. What is that?
40.
No.
We don't use sort in SQL.
If
Okay, yeah, we do order by, we don't use the word sort. So it's actually the where clause. Remember. So I've picked the range.
one of the statements.
The range is this, is the number of cells you want to evaluate. So let's go to the second one. Criteria is the condition or criteria in the form of a number, expression, or text that define which cell will be used to find the average. All right, so this should be, the criteria should be so is the condition or criteria in the form of number, expression, text that define will which cell will be used to define the average. Okay, so I think we need to pick this cell. Are the actual cells to be used to find the average? So I think we're having issues here. Having issues here. So this is supposed to. So that's not it. Francisco, that's from you. Okay, so the criteria is um should be pencil. So I'm going to put it in quotes. From this so oh no. All right, so let's take note of this. We're going to return to it. To return to this average if. All right, so I'll just leave it there so we don't forget. All right, so while we have this, you notice most of our calculation have been done, though we did a little calculation across. Most of our calculation has been done. The same way we do row calculation, can also do this calculation across columns. To this to give you something here. So you can do those calculation again across columns. So it's up to you. So right now I'm going to write down some of the things I wanted to calculate. So I wanted to calculate the sum, count with the data set you have. Before we leave here, I'll give you the one for, we'll do the calculation for the average if. So
I'm thinking the average is because your average is supposed to be only, is it not supposed to be only numbers? Maybe because you're using
no,
item as the range.
so we are trying to do a kind of a work clause, only average of a certain is that satisfy a certain condition. That's where it is. But I'll give it to you, don't worry. So want to use also count number of region. So this shouldn't take you up to 5 minutes. I want the minimum, the maximum. And all you're giving me is you're working on unit cost. Is it? No, work on units. So you're working on units. Please do this for me. Get to work, everyone. Do this for me, please. Quickly. I'm waiting. Thank you. Do you have any question? Anyone? Do you have any question? Oh, all right. That's good. So can we do it?